All right, so today we're going to start multiplying fractions, and I've got a rhyme for us to help us remember the steps when we multiply. So it goes, multiplying fractions ain't no problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So when we say the top times the top, I mean the numerator times the numerator, and the bottom times the bottom is the denominator times the denominator. So unlike when we add and subtract, we don't have to have common denominators. You just take the fractions that you have, multiply top times top, and the bottom times the bottom. So our first example is I have 2/5 times 3. So I see that I have a top and a bottom for 2/5. But 3, I don't have a top and a bottom. 3 is a whole number. And any type of whole number in the world, doesn't matter what number, it just has to be a whole number, has a denominator of 1. So anytime you see a whole number, stick a 1 for the denominator. So now I can multiply the top times the top, or 2 times 3 gives me 6. And the bottom times the bottom, 5 times 1 gives me 5. So when I multiply them together, I get 6/5. But this is currently an improper fraction, and I can't leave it that way. So 5 goes into 6 a total of 1 time, and I would have 1 piece left over. My denominator stays the same, so it is 1 1/5. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have 5 times 6/8. So I need the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. 5 is a whole number, so I'm going to stick a 1 for the denominator. And then I have the top times the top, or 5 times 6 gives me 30. Bottom times bottom, 1 times 8 gives me 8. So 8 will go into 30 a total of 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24, so I would have 6 pieces left over out of 8. But I can simplify 6/8. They both have a 2 in common. So this becomes 3 3/4. All right, I have 11 times 1/4. 11 is a whole number, so I'm going to stick a 1 underneath it. And I have 11 times 1 gives me 11. And 1 times 4 gives me 4. That's what I get for making a video right before lunch. So 4 goes into 11 a total of 2 times. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So I would have 3 out of 4 pieces left over. So 2 3/4. And then we're going to move on to some word problems. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, so sorry for the pterodactyl. So this problem says that James had 3 bags of candy that each weighed 1 pound. He gave away half of each bag. How many pounds did James give away? Okay, so one trick that I like to use is when I read this problem, okay, I'm going to use my get strategy over here. So I know that each bag weighed 1 pound, and he gave away half of each bag. So I know that I have 3 groups of 1 pound, and he's giving away half of each bag. So I'm looking for the total right now, which means that I am multiplying, okay? So I have 3 times 1/2. So I need a top times the top, so I have to put a 1 underneath the 3. So top times top gives me 3. Bottom times bottom gives me 2. 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 piece left over. So 1 1/2. Oh, pounds. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot my units. All right, moving on to our next one. It says Sam and Kevin had a party. Of the 4 cakes at the party, they ate 4/5 of the total amount. So I want to know, what is 4/5 of 4 cakes? So there are 4 cakes. They're going to eat 4/5 of each cake, and I'm looking for the total. So this is going to be 4 times 4/5. I'm going to give 4 a bottom of 1. So I have top times top. 4 times 4 is 16. Bottom times bottom gives me 5. 5 goes into 16 3 times, and I would have 1/5 left over. So they ate 3 1/5 cakes. Hope they shared it with friends, or they're going to have a tummy ache. And our last one says that Justin used 2/3 of his tickets to buy food at the fair. He had 117 tickets at the beginning of the day. So how many tickets did he spend on fair food? So he has 117 tickets. He used 2/3 of them. And now we need to figure out, well, what's the total amount that he used? So 117 times 2/3. So again, I'm going to give 117 a bottom. So when I multiply 117 times 2, let me do some math in my head. So that would be 14, 3. So that would be 234 divided by 3. So I'm going to come over here to the side. Here we go. I have 234 divided by 3. 3 can't go into 2, but 3 can go into 23 a total of 7 times. Gives me 21. And then I have 3 goes into 24 8 times. So Justin spent in total 78 tickets on food at the fair.